welcome inside the broadcast booth, everybody. I'm Joe Buck. Harold Reynolds, Tom Verducci are both coming up. Kenny Rosenthal a bit later on. Well, we have proven that we know nothing coming into these games. Talking about pitchers' duels, talking about matchups coming out of the bullpen. These games have been fantastic. They've been tight. They've been well played. For the most part, well pitched. They've been a bleak out in that bullpen for the Los Angeles Dodgers. We'll have more on that as we go. But as these guys scoot in, come on in, guys. We got Harold Reynolds over here. We got Tom Verducci over here. We'll talk about the pitching matchup. Shelby Miller, the young guy, gets the start for the Cardinals' first career postseason start. For the Dodgers facing elimination, who better do you want to give the ball to than the guy they're giving it to, Clayton Kershaw?
Well, listen, Joe, he's had, I call, one of the historic seasons in baseball history. Why not give the ball to Clayton Kershaw? He made history even before the season started. He signed the richest contract ever given to a pitcher in baseball history, $215 million. And he's lived up to that money, a lot of money, of course, but living up to it during the course of the season. How about early in the season, one of the rare no-hitters, 15 strikeouts and no walks. That had never been done before. Led the league in just about every category you can think of. And he's been doing it for years, 4 straight years, leading the majors in ERA. Nobody did that before. But, Joe, here's the biggest hole in his resume. Look at that postseason ERA, 5.20. Now, he's pitched twice in elimination games, including last year, and allowed 9 runs in 6 innings. I truly believe with the problems in that Dodger bullpen, there's only one way the Dodgers win this game, and that's if Clayton Kershaw pitches like Clayton Kershaw. Yeah, and within that 1-4 postseason record, he's 0-3 against the St. Louis Cardinals, and a guy that's been more than a thorn in his side. And the side of the Dodgers is the leadoff man for the Cardinals, Matt Carpenter, who's just been, he's been powerful. He's been just a tough out in this series.
He's on a roll like you want to get on in the postseason. And what do hitters do? They hit mistakes. So I'm going to show you how we went back and figured out what is Carpenter doing, how's he able to do it. Well, the middle line is down the middle of the plate. Catcher setting up on the outside. The ball misses inside. 3 home runs, 3 doubles is what you're going to see when you're getting balls in the middle and they're missing their spots. They want to go away. They continue to come in, and he is locked in. So how's he doing it? He's locked in. He's getting pitches on the inside, and he's not missing them. And when they make mistakes, he's making them pay. If they continue to do it, he'll continue to be successful.
Yeah, he had a good game 1 against Clayton Kershaw, who is the dominant left-hander in the game. He's got to contain Matt Carpenter in this ball game. All right, so the Cardinals hit the fewest home runs of any team in the National League this season. You certainly wouldn't know it by what they've done so far in this series. Different look to the lineup. We've already talked about it. The guys in the pregame show did. And the big story is that Yasiel Puig's not in there. Starting lineup brought to you by Taco Bell. Sometimes you got to live Moss. D. Gordon, then Carl Crawford moves up. Adrian Gonzalez at first. Matt Kemp, Hanley Ramirez, Andre Ethier first start of this postseason. Juan Uribe, A.J. Ellis, Clayton Kershaw against the right-hander who had a real good second half, Shelby Miller.
He likes to attack with fastballs. A different pitcher late in the season, Joe. We'll talk about that.
Strike 1 to Gordon.
Yeah, see, this early start, the shadows are going to have an effect early in this ball game. Talking to Mike Matheny, manager of the Cardinals, he said they don't even like to hit off me during batting practice.
Here's an 0-1. That is a strike and a tailing pitch, 0-2.
When you have these late afternoon starts, the first thing a player does when he wakes up is check the cloud cover. Well, there were clouds this morning, almost none now.
That's over but low. 1 ball, 2 strikes from Shelby Miller. You saw the numbers 10 and 9 this season. Last year was 15 and 9. Got into 3 games during the postseason. None of them as a starter, and no action in the World Series. He strikes out Gordon to start his day.
So that's just flat out dirty. 97, 96, this one's 96, busting in hard, electric stuff early. Coming out of his hand, you hear that term all the time, you can see it actually jumping out of his hand tonight.
Here's Crawford batting in the number 2 spot. Career 3 for 3 against Shelby Miller. But Tom, as you touched on, if the Dodgers are going on scouting reports or experience that they had back in June or July, this is a different Shelby Miller.
They touched him up back then. That pitch right there, that sinker, the equalizer for me. Justin Masterson got here July 30th in the trade with Cleveland. It's actually the four-seamer with some run on it. And he lives with the four-seam fastball.
Strike two.
Masterson, of course, one of the best sinker ball pitchers in all of baseball. Showed him his grip. Starting August 23rd, he's featured that sinker a lot more. Just enough to keep people honest off of that fastball, the four-seamer.
That one exploded at the plate. Now a 1-2 is fouled out of play left side. Here are the numbers since August 23rd. The Cardinals didn't get much in the deal sending a minor league outfielder to Cleveland for Masterson, except for what he taught Shelby Miller how to sink it. And since August 23rd, the numbers are very good. The former 19th overall pick in 09. He has struck out the first two.
I'm telling you guys, I know we're talking about that sinker, but he hasn't even broke it out yet. He doesn't need it. You know, when you're throwing 97 in the shadows, you see the ball go light to dark, and these hitters have no chance. He's overpowering them right now. See it go light to dark, past the hitters. I think he holds the sinker back for when he needs it later in the game.
With Adrian Gonzalez digging in, we remind you for coverage of this game in Spanish, please tune into Fox Deportes. Gonzalez has been held in check after a big regular season, just 2 for 12. And will that stay in play? It will. How about that start for Shelby Miller? Carpenter puts it away. Dodgers go in order. Cards trying to stamp their ticket to the NLCS. No score after a half. Leads off. He's at third. Randall Grichuk has started every game. Matt Holliday in left. Johnny Peralta cleans up. He's the shortstop. Matt Adams. Then Yadier Molina, John Jay, Colton Wong. The game-winning home run last night. Shelby Miller pitching and batting ninth. And there are the numbers. The regular season for the clear-cut Cy Young Award winner. There's no mystery there. And the likely MVP in the National League. 0 for 1 against the Cardinals this postseason. 0-3 lifetime. Ball one outside. Short rest for Clayton Kershaw, trying to get the series back to LA for a Thursday night game with Greinke on regular rest. Good breaking ball, strike one.
Mixing it up. You know Carpenter's sitting there looking fastball 1-0, and he's been jumping fastball. It's a good pitch, good sign for Kershaw to throw that pitch. Give Carpenter something else to think about.
Another one drops in, that one with a little more loop to it. The count 1-2.
One of the biggest keys in this game for me is that pitch count. Clayton Kershaw pitched on short rest last year in the division series, and Don Mattingly pulled him after 91 pitches in a tie game. He probably will not go far beyond that today. So for me, can the Cardinals make him work early in the innings?
2-2.
To force his hand to get him out of the game, run up the pitch count early on, even if you don't score runs. Have stressful innings to get that pitch count up.
Get into that Dodger bullpen before you get to the closer, Jansen, who has been lights out. 2-2. Carpenter strikes out. Got a foul tip. A.J. Ellis hung on. One away.
Well, guys, I like to see what do you learn from game one to the next game. You know, we're in the fourth game of this series. Clearly a total different pattern to Mr. Carpenter. We saw back-to-back breaking balls. He hadn't seen that the whole series. He puts them away here with one. He saw 3 off-speed pitches in this sequence facing Kershaw. So this is something to watch. Has he learned something? Has he changed his pattern around?
Here's Grichuk. He homered off Kershaw in the first inning in game 1, and then the Dodgers went to work. Scored the next 6. Good zip. 94 on the fastball. Led 6-1, then 6-2 into the top of the 7th. And the Cardinals came up with 8 in the 7th inning and won it 10-9. Down in this one stayed fair down the line. How about his first postseason at bat?
They saw a slow curveball, hammered it down on a 1-0 pitch right there, or 0-1 pitch. Now we've seen 3 different types of breaks already. The hard fastball and 2 different speeds on the breaking ball already.
Well, I think he's already made a conscious decision to mess up the timing of the Cardinals hitters with more off-speed pitches. That's how he got in trouble in that decisive 7th inning in game 1. He went away from it.
2-1. 2-2.
That 7th inning, 28 of his 29 pitches were between 87 and 95 miles an hour. The hitters had to cover just an 8-mile-an-hour window through just one curveball. That's something the catcher A.J. Ellis second-guessed himself about as well.
That misses outside and low, full count. Three-two pitch struck him out. 2 down. Grichuk goes down swinging, as did Carpenter.
I'll tell you what, we had the shadows in Los Angeles when Kershaw started that game the other day, but I don't think they're quite as bad as they are here. Look at that light to dark. It's a nasty slider. It just disappears. This is a pitch that he really added to his repertoire a couple years back, and it's changed everything for Clayton Kershaw. He went from curveball, fastball to adding that slider. It changes his whole approach you have towards him as a hitter.
Now Matt Holliday. He's had a good series. That misses inside, ball 1. Holliday, 3 out of 11, popped a home run. He's been robbed by the Dodgers for a couple of hits. He's hit the ball hard. The home run he hit was in game 1. Provided the difference in the ball game by the end of it. Count 2-0.
It's really tough right now, Joe. I know we're going to talk about the shadows here for a couple innings, but when the pitcher is actually where Clayton is standing, he's in the dark. As soon as he strides, he's in the light, releases it, the ball's in the dark. That is a tough at bat.
2-1.
So as a hitter, what you try to do is basically you're trying to pick out a pitch that hopefully it stays on the same plane. Look at this. You go light to see you later. I think it was a slider. Where'd it go? Oh my goodness. So you hope you get a pitch on the same plane. I get a fastball. I'm looking for it. Hopefully it stays there.
Check swing. Went around, and from 2-0 to 2-2 in Kershaw. Could strike out the side here in the first inning.
That's the slider again. We learned in L.A. that I always thought it was a cutter, but he actually does not throw a cutter. It has that cutter action, Tom, and that's the slider he throws.
2 out, nobody on at 2-2. There's a statement by Kershaw. Strikes out the side in the first inning. Shadows or no shadows, these two guys can bring it and pitch. Kershaw and Miller, no score after 1. Approach by Clayton Kershaw has changed from game 1, and Shelby Miller has been itching to prove himself as a starter.
Oh, they've been electric.
Yeah, we've seen 6 batters. We've witnessed 5 strikeouts. That's Grant's farm. In the South St. Louis area, here in St. Louis, here is Matt Kemp. Matt got a little attention with what he said last night about the strike zone. And the home plate umpire, Dale Scott, who's the crew chief, who's now out at right. He was hot. I think with good reason. Strike 1.
Looking at Shelby Miller here, Joe, it's like an NFL game where the coach scripts the plays going in. This is all power fastballs and in a hurry to deliver them, wasting no time.
1 ball, 1 strike on Kemp.
He's got such a great arm. I love his mechanics, his delivery. It's smooth and easy. You saw Matt Kemp going up hacking early. He's just coming after guys. Here it is. I'm challenging.
That's hard hit. Knocked down by Peralta, no chance. And a base hit for Kemp to start this second.
That's a little one-hop bullet on the backhand. If he's able to come up with it, you're going to get Matt Kemp. But once he knocked it down, there was no chance. That ball smoked, though, huh?
It's a good sign for the Dodgers. This year in 85 wins, Kemp hit .344 with 23 of his 25 home runs during the regular season. And in losses hit .215. So he's kind of been the middleman in this lineup. Adrian Gonzalez had the big year in front of him. Hanley Ramirez, when healthy, had a big year behind him. So it's important for the Dodgers to get Kemp on base as they face elimination here in a late afternoon game. Ramirez 6 for 11. Takes a strike. 93 from Miller.
Well, last night we watched Lackey pound fastball away to the right-handers of the Dodgers. Now we're seeing Miller coming inside a little bit more. So there's an adjustment already there, too. I love the cat and mouse. You got to be able to make adjustments. But, boy, was John Lackey on last night? Wow.
He got the win, 7 strong. 1 on. And almost hit Hanley Ramirez with ball 1.
It needs to be said, Shelby Miller has a really good curveball. And undefeated in September, he threw that pitch a lot more than he did in the first half of the season. It's shown him.
Well, he might be trying to go to that sinker you've been talking about, get that ground ball right here, and maybe get a double play.
Well, that's one thing that's really kept his pitch count down. Quick outs with the sinker.
Here's a 1-1. In for a strike 2. So now another hitter in the hole looking for his 3rd strikeout, the first out here in the 2nd. Ramirez very good on the road since the All-Star break, hitting over 400. Facing Shelby Miller and taking ball 2 up and in.
Tell you what, that brush back pitch that got away in set up the strike away. Hanley didn't begin to think about swinging at that pitch. And right there, they came back in again. So we've got him in a little bit of a rocking chair. He had it figured out yesterday with they're going to pitch me away, I'm going to look away, and we saw the base hit. Right here, here's a ball, starts to tail back in. He's looking outside. You can tell by the way he's diving with his stride. A good time to throw that sinker.
Chop to 3rd. Can they turn 2? Carpenter starts it long in the middle. 2 out.
Looked like the cutter from Miller. First thing with a little wrinkle in it. Took 18 pitches. Perfect result.
It's a nice turn. Watch how Wong hangs in there. You know Matt Kemp's coming at you. Catch it. Get rid of it. Get up in the air.
And with the bases empty after the 5-4-3 double play, it'll be Andre Ethier making his first start. And first real start, if you want to call it that, in a month. There's Yasiel Puig. He's on the bench to start this game, and they don't know if or when he will come out of his funk. He struck out in 8 of his last 9 at-bats during one stretch into last night's game that struck out 7 straight times. So he starts on the bench. Ethier gets the nod, and the count 1 ball 1 strike. Ethier had 2 starts late after the Dodgers clinched. His last start in a game that really mattered was September 7th against Arizona, exactly 1 month ago.
Well, some people believe a strikeout's just another out, but the Dodgers don't see it that way. Not had good at bats. You can't continue to set a guy up there just striking out and not advancing runners, not getting anything out of the play, so to speak. So they had to make the change. I think it was the right time to make a change.
Absolutely the right move. Don Mattingly told us he actually thought about it last night. And the reason why he played last night was Lackey velocity more low 90s than mid 90s. Puig has been consistently late on fastballs away. With Shelby Miller's mid 90s fastball, not a good matchup. So I like the move by Don Mattingly.
The 2 out, Ethier takes a walk. You know, no doubt, and I'm with you, and I'm with Don Mattingly making this change, but I think it takes some guts by a manager, and if you're Don Mattingly, you can put up with whatever grief you're going to get, first of all, from Yasiel Puig. If there's any pouting that follows, who knows what happens. I'm sure Puig is disappointed that he's not in there, and then you get the questions that follow. It's easy to just keep running the same lineup out there and say, well, the guy's got to do the job. He's trying to do anything he can to shake up what has been a disappointing start for this team in this division series. Here's your rebase, strike 1.
All those those are valid things, but the difference is we're in October and not July, you know, and so now you got to check the ego at the door. And you wonder how will that affect Puig going forward. He did not rule out the fact that if they get to game 5 that Puig would not play. But a lot of it has to do with how will he respond. Well, you don't get to game 5 if you don't have your best team on the field.
Here's one into right center field. Jay shading his eyes, having a tough time, but it's Grichuk, the rookie who flashes in front and may have bailed John Jay out of trouble. Jay calling for it. Grichuk came in front and made the play. Bottom of the second rolls in, no score in game 4. MLB.com/season tickets to reserve your seat today. Here's Peralta, ball 1 inside. Peralta, Adams, and Molina. After Clayton Kershaw became the second Dodger to strike out the side in order in the first inning of a postseason game. Doesn't get the corner here. The only other guy to do it, Sandy Koufax. 1963 game 1 against the Yankees. He went on to strike out 15. Koufax did 63. Here's a 2-0. Now he gets the corner. Count 2-1.
You know, it may sound like to someone listening that, man, they're talking about Kershaw an awful lot. Yeah, he had an unbelievable year. I mean, you got to talk about it. It was amazing what he did this season.
Missed the month of April. That's inside again. The count 3-1. There are some who believe by missing those starts in April because he had an inflamed muscle in the back, upper back around the shoulder, that he has more in the tank now. That's foul for a full count.
That might be foul conversation too. I don't know if I agree with that 100%. I get where they're coming from.
Well, you don't think he has more energy now than he would otherwise? I mean, he's thrown about 1,000 fewer pitches this year than last year, so it's not just the fact that he missed 3 or 4 starts in April. He's been more efficient throughout the season.
Here's his 3-2.
I'll tell you why. Now we got a foul ball. Anytime you get hurt, the rehab you have to go through is a lot harder than the game you play. And so for him to get back into shape, I think he probably worked more to get back into the rotation and into shape than he did if he stayed healthy through spring training and been in his routine every 4th or 5th day. That's why.
Full count on Peralta. Another 3-2 pitch. A leadoff walk.
It's definitely a different game plan today for Clayton Kershaw. Even behind on the count, you saw him go to 3 breaking balls. And too many times you see him double up the fastball so far, trying to keep St. Louis hitters off balance.
Here's Matt Adams, who was actually hitting 6th game 1 against Kershaw. He hit 5th here last night, and he stays in that spot. Adams had one of the RBI singles in that 8-run 7th against Kershaw, game 1. Lead on deck, strike 1.
He was on such a great roll the first game, he being Kershaw. But Tom, he didn't get to the stretch till when? 6th or 7th?
7th inning. 6 innings to begin the game, all out of the windup.
One ball, 1 strike. They're the numbers from game 1. Pitches 1 through 79. 80 plus. Scoring started with a 6th inning home run by Matt Carpenter. Breaking ball stays inside, 2-1.
You know, it's interesting too. We've been talking about all the shifts and how they've been playing, guys. Look at how they're playing Matt Adams here. I do think it's a direct result of the shadows. They're not thinking he's going to get that bat head out like he normally would, so they're not playing a shift on him this time around.
Hard hit. Ramirez, a dive, a flip, out, and got them both. Brilliantly turned by Ramirez and Gordon in the middle.
That is an amazing play. I like the fact Hanley Ramirez took his time. Flipped the backhand, look at D. Gordon. You know who's running. You got to know who's swinging the bat. That was a one-hop shot. And D. Gordon knew this is a ball you want to turn. But Hanley Ramirez makes the play, not only on the backhand catch right here, but taking his time. He didn't rush. How often do we see a guy drop that ball or bobble it? He knew who hit the ball and who was running. That's a beautiful play.
Great play on so many levels. The dive and then really a long flip from that position. The backhand flip from a real long distance.
Molina takes a strike. Meanwhile, not to overdo the whole pitch count thing with Clayton Kershaw in short rest, but those double plays can go a long way. Now it's 2 out, nobody on, and 2 quick strikes on Yadier Molina.
So I don't think you can overdo the pitch count thing, because I don't think Don Mattingly wants to push Clayton Kershaw much more than 100 pitches.
And strike 3. And if that's the case, then Kershaw better get at least 7 innings within those 100 pitches, the way the Dodger bullpen has been. No score after 2 in Game 4. The officially licensed gear for every postseason team at the MLB.com shop. All these always October sweatshirts, they're there. All the postseason stuff, it's there. Check it out. Here's A.J. Ellis. All he's done is hit. He made the last out last night, but look at those numbers. And in his career in the postseason, a .385 hitter in the number 8 hole, which you pointed out last night, Harold. That's hard to do.
Hard to do, but the one thing he does, he's swinging the bat. During the season, he's eye testing everything, trying to get deep in counts. Here, he's hacking.
Takes a strike from Shelby Miller, who has walked 1, allowed a hit, struck out 2.
I wonder if in that MLB shop they've got some sunglasses that John Jay is wearing, because right now he's got the glove and the sunglasses.
Here's one into right. That ball might drop, and it will. Late break by Grichuk. And it is obvious that these outfielders aren't seeing the ball that well either as they fight the glare. Here comes Kershaw, who had 2 sacrifice bunts and a walk in Game 1. MVP credentials. We'll start looking at some of these numbers. First to win the ERA title across all of the big leagues in 4 straight seasons. He wins 21 games in 27 starts. The second pitcher in franchise history with 5 straight 200-plus strikeout seasons. If he is an MVP, he'd be the 3rd Dodger pitcher to accomplish that feat. Newcomb, Koufax, and Kershaw, I think, is the next to do it.
Yeah, he's special. Look where Carpenter is playing him. You know, anytime you have history in every one of your sentences, you have an amazing year. But look where Carpenter's at. If he's going to bunt, you want to go to first base with this bunt. So you eliminate the third baseman, it doesn't matter.
You've got a catcher running at first. Now Kershaw handles the bat really well, and he can hit. At 11 hits, he's got a big league home run. 11 hits during the regular season. It's not a. They're almost daring the Dodgers to make Kershaw swing the bat.
Yeah, and they've done that a couple times. Obviously, Greinke beat them in Los Angeles, but I like the defensive plan. Make them swing it. If you want to beat us with the swing.
Bunt. And a bobble that costs the out at second and almost the out at first. You can hear Molina yelling 2-2-2, but the bobble, and Shelby Miller had only one direction to go with it.
Yeah, great call, Joe, because as soon as he bobbled this ball, he had a shot. He's going to second the whole way. This ball kicks up, and he starts to lose concentration. He started to look to second base, and wise decision. He's got him dead to the rights. And now wise decision to go ahead and go back.
Look at Kershaw hustling down the line, almost beat it.
Just hurrying a little bit too much here. I think you're right, Harold. He did have the out in order at second base. He fielded cleanly.
Now D. Gordon, who hit .295 with runners in scoring position, he has throughout the year. Mentioned it last night. That includes the postseason. Took a strike.
Steady diet of breaking balls, D. Gordon, in hitters situations where he's got runners in scoring position, I should say. They've done a heck of a job keeping him off balance with hooks.
Ellis at second. Gordon slaps at it, fouls it, strike two.
I'm telling you, it's a nightmare in the outfield right now. The sun being low in the sky. John Jay's trying to get his glove up even with the sunglasses on. The problem is the glare, and it's also the fact that there's no clouds up in the sky. The players call it a high sky. Very easy to lose the ball up there. We talk about the hitters having trouble this time of day. Right now, it's the outfielders having a hard time.
Gordon into the gap in left center, slicing to Holiday for out number 2. We saw that quick replay of John Jay on a ball that was hit by Uribe in the second. Look at what he's fighting in the glare off the glasses.
You can see he's looking directly in the angle of the sun, pretty much right towards that gap in right center. He's calling for it. Grichuk also calling for it. Lucky there was no collision right here.
Yeah, and the one reason they're avoiding collision is they have a conversation, a pattern that we've seen now. That Jay is going to go behind, and the other outfielder is going to cut in front. And that's how you avoid the collision. It's usually the other way around. The center fielder's the bad guy. They're allowing these guys to cut in front and make the play.
Here's Crawford trying to take advantage of that leadoff hit by A.J. Ellis in the bunt. Struck out his first time. Trying to put the Dodgers on top. Late swing and a miss. Strike two.
Well, Crawford got up to a really fast start the first game or two, and then they have just continued to climb the ladder, heater after heater, to put him away. And he hasn't laid off it yet. Shelby Miller's looking good, folks.
Strikeout number 3. Inning over. Bottom of the third inning rolls in. Bottom 3 coming up for St. Louis. No score. Trying to get that series back home. John Jay swings and misses. Underway bottom of the third inning. If that series does get to a game 5, game 5 would be Thursday at 4 Eastern. There's a strike, 0-2, followed by game 5 between these two teams in LA should the Dodgers win today. Coverage of the NLDS continues next and Thursday here on Fox Sports 1. Streaming live on Fox Sports Go. 1-2 on John Jay. 2 out of 12 lifetime against Kershaw. Had a hit against him in game 1. He is 0 for 1 today.
It's the first time he's pulled the ball probably in about 2 games. You know, they got him on a breaking ball out over the plate. The adjustment, Tom, we've been talking about what Kershaw's done clearly. Using the breaking ball more and using both sides of the plate.
Yeah, especially in on Jay. The book on him is that's where you have to go. Nice job in that sequence by Kershaw.
Now Colton Wong gets a nice hand, and why not? Last night he took Scott Elbert deep with a man on for a 2-run shot to break a 1-1 tie, and that was it. Game ended 3-1. From a homer to a bunt attempt on a 94-mile-per-hour pitch, strike one.
Yeah, he's trying to pull that bunt to the first base side. You got the second baseman and first baseman back. What you want to do is get a ball that's up and try to pull it hard. That's what he was doing. He just fouled it back. That's why it went back behind us as opposed to maybe going down the third baseline towards a rebound.
Good breaking ball. Tom, that look is good here today so far from Kershaw.
Early and often with the breaking ball. Departure from game number 1.
That's dirty right there.
0-2. Slapped out, fouled away. Shelby Miller, you saw him on deck. 2 good hitting pitchers involved in this game.
Seems like the whole series. I'll swing the bat a little bit. I know Lance Lynn's numbers aren't there, so we have to discount that a little bit. I understand. Everybody else swinging.
0-2. Nice play, Kershaw. What an athlete he is. 2 out. And all that's standing between Kershaw and facing the minimum through 3 is Shelby Miller.
Nice play, falling off, good balance. Yeah, these games have been so tight, you cannot make a mistake. Even a little kick ball, we watched Shelby Miller on the bunt, you thought that may turn into a big break. You know, instead of getting the lead runner at second, runner got in, he still pitched his way out of it.
Strike one.
It's been impressive watching these pitchers feeling their positions, getting bunts down. Zach Greinke getting a hit.
Here's the 0-1 to Shelby Miller. Strike 2.
Well, we always talk about the little things that get teams to this level, and the pitcher in the National League is a big part of being able to advance your club, get your bunt down, build your position, the little things like that. And I think it falls more on the pitcher's shoulder clearly in this league than it does the other.
1-2. Dodgers in the 4th inning will have some big bats coming up. Pinking ball had everybody frozen, drop low, ball 2. You can hear Kershaw giving it all he's got, exhaling after letting the ball go. And a strikeout on a 93-mile-per-hour fastball. Who's coming up? First, it's Gonzalez. Then it's number 27, Matt Kemp. And then it's Ramirez. 3, 4, and 5 in the 4th. No score. Here we go. 3, 4, and 5 for the Dodgers. Gonzalez, Kemp, and Hanley Ramirez in a scoreless game. Dodgers want to go home to play baseball. The Cardinals want it to end here today. Ball 1 outside. Had a chance to visit with Don Mattingly during the break, and obviously the first question was about his starter, Clayton Kershaw, and how good he looks and how economical he's been with his pitches through 3 innings. Hear that interview in a moment. Here's a 1-0. Hard hit, but right at Wong. As time. As he out. The in-game interview brought to you by DirecTV moments ago. We spoke to Don, and here's his answer about his starter Kershaw.
Yeah, you can tell he's on the attack, and you know, you wouldn't know he's on short rest. His stuff looks good. He's sharp. He looks ready to go. We'll just see how it goes.
Yeah, and when you're in the dugout and you're getting a look at that curveball, as filthy as it is tonight, you know your guy's on.
Yeah, he's feeling good. You can see the slider too. He's had some depth with that. It looks like he's throwing the ball to both sides of the plate. We'll see as we get into the lineup the next time through. Shadows change a little bit. We'll see where it goes.
Yeah, and it looks like you have your hands full with the kid. Shelby Miller looks good too.
Yeah, he looks like he's got power stuff today, running that ball upstairs on us. We got to leave that one alone, getting down in the strike zone. Hopefully, again, get the shadows out of the way. Everybody sees the ball a little bit better. We'll see where it goes.
Yeah, and finally, you were cryptic before the game. You said, who knows what we're going to do late in the game? Expect the unexpected, huh?
Well, it's that game. It's win or go home for us. And so we'll do things that we normally wouldn't do.
All right. Thanks, Don.
Okay.
I was specifically talking about his bullpen, which has been knocked around in this division series so far as the count goes to 0-2 on Kemp.
Out of the box is what he said about bullpen choices. And that may involve Denny Herron. It's interesting. Yesterday, he basically ruled out Denny Herron in the 6th inning on, basically the protection against Ryu.
Chopper to third, Carpenter a true hop. 2 out.
Perhaps Herron is a later inning option today.
He's out there.
The last time he came in with runners on base, he was a St. Louis Cardinal back in 2005, a long time ago.
Well, that's just like last night. It's going to come down to the bullpen. And if these two continue to match each other and they run out of bullets, I think Kershaw runs out before Miller because of the fact he's pitching on short rest. And that's not good for the Dodgers if it continues to be this score. And you say you get to the 7th or so, you start having to make a bullpen game out of
talked to Mike Matheny here during the break. Meanwhile, for Don Mattingly, he told us he will extend his closer, Jansen. And you can see in the right circumstance, Jansen going 2.
Oh yeah, no doubt.
It's 1-0. That's into right. Grichuk to his left. It is a quiet top of the 4th inning against the heart of the order for the Dodgers. Good start, Shelby Miller. Kershaw back to work. No score. Top of the order for the Cardinals as Kershaw has faced the minimum. Got around a leadoff walk in the 2nd with a double play ball. Carpenter takes a ball high. Kershaw has now thrown 44 pitches. Going through this lineup for the 2nd time now, starting with Carpenter. He's thrown 22 breaking balls, a slider or the curve.
That's a high number for him. He's usually 70% fastballs. Here you go. I'm coming at you a little bit. So he's clearly tried to make an adjustment this game.
43 pitches coming into the 4th inning. This afternoon had 39 fewer pitches going into the 4th inning, game 1. But he was just mowing them down. He has thrown more pitches here in game 4. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Just a little poke into left field and easy for Crawford. 1 away. Time for our in-game interview brought to you by DirecTV. We talked to Mike Matheny, manager of the St. Louis Cardinals, and the first question about his young starter, Shelby Miller, who's not fazed by this start at all.
No, he was eager to get in last year, couldn't get him into the postseason, and he's been talking about it for a while, so he couldn't wait to get out there and show what he could do.
And what are your hitters telling you with regard to Clayton Kershaw when they come back?
Yeah, same thing. You know, he's just so deceptive. The ball jumps out of his hands, a little funky to pick up, and he's got a good tight slider working today. He's cutting it in, and he's controlling the tempo. But we just tell him to stick with the game plan and keep putting together tough at bats.
Yeah, you have your game plan. It looks like Kershaw's maybe changed his game plan a little bit as opposed to game 1.
Yeah, I think he's the kind of guy. You're not going to have the kind of season he's had, the kind of career he's had, if you're not willing to make those adjustments mid-game and then in a series. And he realized we had a few hits put together, and he's going to try and do things differently.
Mike, thanks.
All right, guys.
Cardinals are looking for their 4th straight National League Championship Series. Matheny, his 3rd in 3 years as the Cardinal manager, as the count goes to 1-2 on Grichuk.
I think those last 2 pitches, Joe, fastballs where Grichuk was really late, tells you how effective the off-speed pitches have been. He's really disrupted their timing.
Randall struck out his first time. Kershaw struck out the side. Ellis can't pull it back in. 2-2. The rookie right fielder waits. Out in front of it, got a piece.
Going in the kitchen sink, man. He's seen the slider, the changeup, the curveball. Really has not seen the changeup. I jumped ahead of myself, Joe, because I'm thinking he may come back with that, but he's throwing everything at him. The hard fastball, cutter, the slider in, the curveball. Comes another slider.
On 2-2. Hard hit base hit, and the first base hit of the game for St. Louis belongs to Grichuk.
There's the slider called, and here's the execution. Great swing. Left a little bit over the plate, actually cut back. Nice piece of hitting.
Yeah, you can see that Ellis wanted to kind of back foot Grichuk on that one. It just stayed up a little bit. Boy, he's a good-looking hitter.
Here is Holiday. Late with that swing, strike 1. Matt Holliday has reached base more against Clayton Kershaw than any other active player in the big leagues. 22 times. He's got 11 hits. He's been walked 10 times by Kershaw. Clayton hit him once.
Getting on that much against me, I'm going to hit you.
1 on, 1 out. Holliday's got a home run in this division series. Way out in front, fooled by that pitch. Strike 2.
Yeah, I thought it was interesting talking to Matt about how hot he got in the second half, and one of the things he did in the second half is go out and get the ball. You know, we often hear the term let it travel, get back on you, and what happens a lot of times you end up jamming yourself. You see here a curveball, he's trying to go out and get it, but that's something that he basically perfected the second half of the year. Go get the ball instead of let it come get on top of it.
0-2. Ball 1.
Kershaw's Dodger teammates call him the big train. It's because he's so headstrong and stubborn. The train, once it gets going on the tracks, it's not going anywhere but full speed ahead. Just because he's throwing off speed pitches, he's still aggressive. He's not nibbling.
He was pitching from the stretch. They really interrupted the work of Kershaw in game 1. Working from the stretch here, the 1-2. That bounces in. Good base running by Grichuk. He was ready to go, and he's at second on the wild pitch.
Yeah, he got this on the secondary lead and being able to bounce off. We talked about how Yadi Molina keeps those runners close a lot of times because he throws down so much. This ball's about a 50-footer. And that's what a catcher's going to do. As a base runner, as soon as you see that ball hit the dirt, watch Grichuk. He's off and running. Once it bounces, now he's got to come up, catch it clean, make a perfect throw to get you. You get this on the secondary lead. As soon as you saw the ball bounce, he's off and running. You're going to make it most times if you read it and run like that.
First runner to second base for the Cardinals in the game. Not hard hit. Gordon has tied. 2 out. Over to third, Grichuk. And it'll be up to Peralta. Sorry, bud.
That's okay. Off the bat, I thought that was going to be a tougher play. I thought he was going to, that was barely going to get past the mound. We'd see D. Gordon come in charge and flip it on the run. Picked up a little bit of steam. This is why they got him over here, Johnny Peralta. They wanted the offense.
They got it. He set a Cardinal record for home runs by a shortstop at 21. Shattered that record. Previous high was 16. Cardinals would just take a little flare hit right now. Runner at third, 2 out. Strike 1.
Perfectly executed with the slider right there. Stayed inside most of the at-bat first time up. Wound up losing Peralta.
Well, watch where Grichuk is at, how far he gets down the line, because that bat, the short hop on a breaking ball, we may see him come. As soon as Clayton starts to deliver, he comes down the line almost halfway.
Well, ball 1 strike. He has that luxury with Uribe playing so deep at third, he can't keep him close to the bag at all.
Well, that's one reason why Mike Matheny told us he loves Grichuk, not just the pop in the bat, the defense and the base running. He said extremely aggressive.
Plus those little details the Cardinals have to do. And this puts pressure on Kershaw to have to make a perfect pitch on a breaking ball. You can't bounce it.
He bounced it. Peralta went after it. Strike 2.
And that's a perfect short hop bounce. If he bounces that 50-footer he threw the advanced on, you're in trouble. This is why you get down the line. You're looking for this ball to bounce away. Watch how far he gets down the line on the delivery. You're looking for that ball to bounce and kick away.
That is textbook secondary lead right there. We saw it with John Day last night. See it today with Grichuk.
All that happened in 1 inning. Here's a 1-2. 2-2. Peralta was hitting under 200 at the end of April. Cardinals were wondering what they were getting for a heavy investment over 4 years. Well, he settled in. First time in the National League, and he went off. No RBIs in this series. Through this at bat, and a strikeout for Clayton Kershaw, number 6. Hanging up zeros and matching Shelby Miller. Good curveball from number 22. No score after 4. If you're a baseball fan, you know Kershaw. If you are a casual baseball fan, you may not know Shelby Miller, but you're learning just how good he is.
He's got great stuff. High 90s at the beginning of the game. About 93, 94 now.
Misses to Ethier, who walked his first time up.
And he broke out the sinker right there. Now the shadows are going away. You saw him pitch effectively high. Carl Crawford, different guys right there, first pitch sinker.
You saw a shot of that grass berm, the batter's eye in center field, still in full sunlight. I believe until that gets dark, you will not have truly optimum hitting condition with a bright background right now.
1-1 to Ethier. Up and away, 2 balls and a strike. And Ethier, despite getting this rare start, has been very patient at the plate.
Yeah, Tom, you're right. I mean, you're not going to get perfect, but it's a lot better when the pitcher's in the same contrast that you're in. He's in the dark, you're in the dark. So not contrasting with you, I should say.
A little bit of a late swing by Ethier in the count, 2-2.
That breaking ball that Kershaw threw.
Now Miller on 2-2, strikes out Andre Ethier.
Well, he's a handful. You know, we saw the first pitch sinker and then the ability to go up in the zone, explode. This is pitching. He's not just throwing. This ball running away. Excellent idea what he's doing, and Yachty's doing a terrific job of guiding through.
Really good run on that 4-seam fastball. But again, Dodgers need to be more disciplined off that fastball. They're a great fastball hitting team, but they need to get Miller in the zone.
There's a guy who needs to find it as well, Juan Uribe. He is 0 for 1 this afternoon. 1 for 14 in this series. And hitting around 170 over his last 112 postseason at bats. Hit .311 during the regular season. That's a ball that just missed outside. 2-0.
Tom, that's what you're talking about right there. The discipline to lay off that pitch right there. It's off the plate, not in your zone. I'm surprised Uribe's gone to a little bit of a tailspin. This guy can really hit.
He hits one into right. Back is Grichuk at the wall. He's got it for out number 2. Ball carried a long way the opposite way off the bat of Uribe, 2 down.
Yeah, I'm not sure whether Uribe thought he got it, but a lot of times he'll give you this follow through like he did. And that's a case where, yeah, he forced Miller into the zone, got himself into a fastball count and a good pitch to hit. Just didn't carry far enough.
Randall Grichuk is playing some nice defense. We watched him on a couple occasions. Right there, so smooth, got such a great jump, went back, set himself, caught it easy. He's a center fielder playing right field. You can just see that.
There's a strike to A.J. Ellis. He singled his first time. He is 7 for 12. Meanwhile, Shelby Miller has 4 strikeouts. All have come on fastballs. That wasn't a fastball, but it was a strike. Count 0-2, and Kershaw's got 6 strikeouts. 2 on fastballs, 3 on curves, 1 on a slider.
Fasten your seatbelt, boys. We're in for a pitching duel through the next couple innings.
Here's the 0-2. Well, this spoils it.
A.J. Ellis trying any way he can to get on base. 2 outs, nobody on. Clear the pitcher's spot. So the next inning, you have Dean Gordon leading off rather than Clayton Kershaw.
Crowd jumps back into it. The 0-2 just outside as Miller started to take a step toward the dugout.
This is where that glove is at to start the pitch. Yachty's off the plate, sets up off the plate. He's looking to try to steal any pitch and any swing possible.
2-2, and you can see on that follow through by Shelby Miller, he's throwing everything he's got toward home plate. Full body.
He's almost like the prototypical, you want to say, what's a Cardinal pitcher look like? That right there.
2-2 pitch. Now full count. Good at bat by Ellis, and we've seen this since this series began.
A lot of respect for a very good fastball hitter. Cutter, and then he doubled up on 2 curveballs. Got to believe, again, the situation, pitcher on deck. Got to be the challenge fastball right here.
I think he's going to continue to just nibble, and you're not afraid to have Kershaw go get him. You don't want Ellis to hurt you.
3-2. He walked him.
Basically, that was an unintentional, intentional walk. He got ahead of him and said, you chase the breaking ball off the plate, you chase the fastball away, no problem. We'll get out of this inning right here with Kershaw.
Kershaw can get you.
Yeah.
He can foil that kind of thinking. That's what Shelby Miller was going for. Kershaw's got 3 sacrifices in this series and a walk, 1 career home run. Strike 1.
I think just the way that Yachty was setting up when they got ahead in the count was basically, this guy's killing us. We can't let Ellis beat us again.
Swing by Kershaw, strike 2. Zeros in the columns that matter most. Up and away for ball 1. Bat by Ellis does, as Tom pointed out, get Kershaw at least out of the way here in the 5th. Kershaw's got bigger dreams than that. He fights it off.
Yeah, I still don't think he was pitching around Ellis, though, especially when you're 0-2. I know he hit a home run in this series. He's not a guy you really have to fight to keep in the park. I think at 0-2, that's time to stay aggressive and make sure you get the pitcher leading off the next inning. I'm not sure he wanted to pitch around him. I think he just missed.
Very well could have. I like your point with Kershaw leading off the next half inning.
So now the 1-2 pitch from Miller. And that continues.
I think it falls in play if you fall behind right away. But getting ahead 0-2 on A.J. Ellis, it's time to be aggressive.
I still see it the other way. All I can do is look at what Yachty was doing. The way he was setting up was, to me, like, I'm not giving you a pitch to drive and have a chance to do damage.
Another 1-2. A line drive, base hit left field. Kershaw gets the hit and sets up D. Gordon with 2 on, 2 out.
Heck of a piece of hitting right there by Mr. Kershaw.
I mean, the stuff that he does, whether it's, we saw him sprint down the line on the bunt earlier in the game, or busted over to the bag and a ball hit to the right side, or not give away at bats.
Build his position on a bullet back at him.
He does everything. And sometimes you say, well, the pitcher's not the greatest athlete. They can't run. They can't do. This guy's an athlete, and he's given the Dodgers everything he's got so far.
I'm telling you, that was so impressive. 2 strikes. Just get your foot down and quick to the baseball.
Now D. Gordon, another RBI chance for the Dodger leadoff hitter. And he doesn't do anything with it. Peralta gets the force Dodgers had stranded 4. Bottom of the 5th inning rolls in with Adams, Molina, Jay coming up. No score. Here's Matt Adams. Good breaking ball from Kershaw. Pitch number 64 is strike 1. Adams bounced into a double play his first time. Well turned by Ramirez and Gordon. Drives him off the plate, ball 1.
You know, that's his 65th pitch, and this year he led all major leagues fewest pitches per inning, 13.7 pitches per inning.
Little off balance on that fly ball into center, and Adams is 0 for 2.
So if you start thinking about that, through 9 would be 123-ish, somewhere in that neighborhood.
You know, it was interesting last year when he did pitch on short rest in the division series. Don Mattingly didn't even check with him to see how he was feeling. When he got to 91, took him out of the game. He asked A.J. Ellis, how's his stuff? A.J. said it was fine. He just made the determination that Kershaw was done to protect him more than anything.
There's Molina, ball 1. Think about the mentality of a competitor like Clayton Kershaw. You have at least an MVP type season to win the Cy Young. 21-3, absolutely dominant. You start mentioning your name in the same sentence with Koufax, and you come out in game 1 of the division series against the team that beat you twice last year in the NLCS, and you blow a 6-1 lead. It's going to be tough to get Clayton Kershaw out of this ball game if you're Don Mattingly. Here's Uribe. Has time, 2 out.
And if you're Clayton Kershaw, you do a lot of politicking in the dugout. I don't care what your pitch count is. As long as you're feeling good, you have to say, I'm not giving up the ball.
I look at it totally different. There is no politicking at all. I gave you $215 million for this moment. You stay out there, big boy. Is there a debate? I know it's a long-term contract, but you don't get to game 5 with the way the bullpen has been pitching unless it goes to Jensen. It's the only time you take him out if you're still in the game like this.
Here's John Jay. Ken Rosenthal is by the dugout. John Jay takes the ball high. Give us more, Kenny.
Well, Joe, Clayton Kershaw, of course, pitch count is something that we're watching today. But as Don Mattingly reminded us before the game, and Rick Honeycutt too, it's stress that matters. Are these innings stressful or are they less stressful? So far, not a lot of stress.
No, he got the double play ball in the second. He's only seen 1 runner get into scoring position. His last inning. Runner in second, 1 out. Runner in third, 2 out. Get out of it with a strikeout.
Well, that's why for me at this point in the game, that double play is the biggest play in the game. If Ramirez doesn't make that stop and turn to start the double play, it's first and second, nobody out, and then you have your stressful inning.
In a spot for strikeout number 7 is Clayton Kershaw.
No, you're absolutely right, Tom. That play was huge. It was a bullet off the bat of Adams and played brilliantly by Hanley.
The 2 out. That just missed. The full count. Number 8 man Colton Wong on deck.
Does that look stress-free?
I think he's stressed about that no strike call on 2-2. And a walk follows. That's ball 4. Jay will
checking him.
Checking for a check swing. No swing. And it's a 2-out walk. And the inning will continue for Colton Wong.
It's an interesting play. Watch John Jay. And he doesn't know, so he takes off. Are you going to call it a check swing or not? And right here, he sees the catcher and the umpire, and he starts sprinting. So if they were going to call it a strike, he was going to make sure he was at first base, even if he was awarded the base on a walk.
So now Wong, who homered last night. It's been lefty on lefty. Left-handed Cardinal hitter, left-handed Dodger pitcher. Snap throw and very close. Jay gets back.
Ooh. It's another thing in his arsenal right there. That was a nice snap throw.
You wonder if they're delaying.
Yep, they are delaying.
I think they might have gotten him. And Adrian Gonzalez is asking Mattingly to come out.
Tim Wallach, I'm sure, on the phone with the replay guys in the clubhouse.
It's going to be a tough one, boys. He's got him at the waist. Yeah, I think they got him. But it's going to be tough because you see the glove continue on. They're not going to turn it.
Adrian Gonzalez was asking them to, and they don't. If nothing else, it just adds a few more pitches for Kershaw. Strike one. Along with giving Wong a chance to swing the bat. That was worth a look, wasn't it?
I thought it was worth a look, especially at this point in the game. Maybe first inning, you want to keep that challenge in your pocket. If you lose the challenge, you're done through 6. After that, you ask the umpires. Here in the 5th inning, might have been a good time to use it.
Yeah, for those that are just jumping into baseball really heavily right now, you get one challenge through 6 innings. If you get it right, then you get to keep it. If it's wrong, then you lose it. And after the 6th inning, it becomes in the umpire's hands.
Wong waits. Late break back to the bag.
The reason he's trying so close here, you got Wong to lead off the next half inning. If John Jay gets thrown out, now you have Wong leading off with the pitcher on the on-deck circle. That's why they're anticipating him maybe still in the bag or running in this situation.
Breaking ball for a strike. Strike 2.
So, Tom, they're back to your scenarios. We look at this breaking ball. You don't want the pitcher to have to lead off the next half inning.
Absolutely. And again, when you're in control of the count, as aggressive as is the nature of Clayton Kershaw, I think you stay attack mode right here.
1 on, 2 out. No score. 5th inning. Runner goes. And ball is fair and will end the inning. That ball bounced.
Yep. The bounce hit the bat. I thought it was going to go foul, but it stayed in fair territory. That's an out.
The home plate umpire, Eric Cooper, was all over it. Watch this. That's after the ball hit the bat.
Great awareness by Eric Cooper right there.
There you go. It bounces. It hits the bat. And then it hits Wong.
Ooh, there might be a replay.
And we could get a replay the other way. Matheny came out, and he's going to talk. If he's in the batter's box, it's a foul ball. It's a foul ball, and Mike Matheny is going to go out and talk. And he's going to get word from the Cardinal dugout.
Well, that's the key to this play. Is he still in the batter's box after the ball hits the bat and hits him?
Foul ball. He's in the batter's box.
I mean, I think you have to look at that, and I still don't know why the Dodgers didn't look at that pickoff throw at first. But right now, Shelby Miller's out on the mound about to take his warm-up tosses.
Let it go. Wow. Okay.
So with that, we'll go to break. No score after 5 in Game 4. We've seen an interesting twist. First of all, the Cardinals may be catching a break when the Dodgers did not review a play at first. Here's Crawford with a base hit into right. And we're underway in the 6th inning of a scoreless Game 4. So the Dodgers don't review a pickoff throw at first, which was well within their right to do. Adrian Gonzalez asked the bench to do it. They don't. Then we see a ball, a pitch that bounces in, that hits the bat of Colton Wong, goes into the leg of Wong and then into fair territory. And because only fair and foul is called and reviewable in the outfield, it's a non-reviewable play, which
will be discussed.
Yeah, will be discussed. So nobody saw that ball hit Colton Wong while he was in the batter's box, and it should have been a foul ball.
Yeah, well, we didn't see it hit him either, at least I didn't, until the replay. You know, and by then it's too late if you can't review it.
So the leadoff man is on for the Dodgers. Third time they've done that. Check on the runner at first. Here's that pitch again. And what's
True in cricket, true in baseball. It's a live ball, even though it bounces on the ground, hits the bat. Now it should be a dead ball. As you said, anything in the infield, fair or foul, not reviewable.
And that to me is not the home plate umpire's call. That's somebody else out there, because he's blocked off by the catcher and everything else in real time. That's tough to see.
Here's Gonzalez with a base hit into right. Crawford will turn and go. And the runners are at the corners, and the best scoring chance of the day for either team belongs to Los Angeles. Adrian Gonzalez, just his third hit, but it is a big one here in the 6th inning.
Tried to get inside with the fastball. Nice job by Adrian Gonzalez getting it through that hole.
And it'll bring in Matt Kemp, who, as we said, has been the key to success when he has picked up hits for the Dodgers this season. He's 1 for 2. He's singled, he's grounded out. He could put the Dodgers on top.
Yeah, the Cardinals have done a great job of keeping them out of crooked numbers. You know, they've shut the Dodgers down. They haven't had a big explosion in a couple of games. This is their best opportunity.
Dodgers won for their last 19 with runners in scoring position in this series. Strike one. As Seth Maness gets loose for the Cardinals in their bullpen.
Again, you see the anxiety in the Dodgers hitters. First and third situation. Kemp wants to drive something to the outfield. Chases the fastball out of the strike zone.
Here comes the 0-1. Strike two.
This is pitch. You know, it seems like almost every at-bat, there's such a truism in baseball. The pitcher gets one pitch, the umpire gets a pitch, and you get a pitch. Right here, this was Matt Kemp's pitch, and that's why they're having a conversation at the mound. This is going to be a ball he leaves right out over the middle.
I think Yadi Molina knew they got away with one right there.
So Molina trying to guide the 23-year-old right-hander through his first patch of trouble here in the 6th inning. Trying to get a lead for Clayton Kershaw. Kemp, by the way, tied for 9th in the National League with his 89 RBIs. He's got 2 RBIs in this series, one of which came on the game-winning home run in Game 2 in LA on Saturday. Miller's got him set up. Still 0-2.
And this is where you start looking, if you're Mike Matheny. You've seen a couple of singles back-to-back, but more importantly, he's given Matt Kemp 2 or 3 pitches to hit in this at-bat. The first one, it was out of the zone, he swung at, but that ball's a hittable ball too. Now that's back-to-back pitches he's left over, and that's the thought that Mike Matheny's looking at. He's saying he's giving him too much to hit right now.
Time called by Molina.
Saw him go away from the fastball to the breaking ball. That slider.
With the count 0-2. Reaching for it. A run will score. Out at second. And get them both. But the Dodgers take the lead on a double play hit into by Matt Kemp.
Well, Matt Kemp got down the line off a pass. This is a ball he's reaching on a breaking pitch. This is what the Cardinals wanted when you call that breaking ball. He gets down the line pretty quick. He makes a routine double play ball awful close. But he's out. It's a big double play.
Yeah, nice job by Shelby Miller. I know you want to see what you can do to get out of that inning with no runs being scored, but first and third, nobody out. Terrific job conceding, at least yielding a run with the double play ball.
The Dodgers get one after putting runners at first and third, nobody out. Now the bases are empty, 2 out for Hanley Ramirez. The team that has scored first in this series so far has won each game. It's fouled straight back, and in the postseason overall, the team that scored first is 11-3. Dodgers lead 1-0.
Starting to see Shelby Miller leaving some balls out over the plate, and that makes me think that this may be it for him in this game. Some great stuff, though, man.
Ramirez 0 for 2 tonight. Takes ball 1.
Yeah, don't forget Miller leading off the bottom of the inning.
Is ready to go if they need him, but that double play ball changed the complexion of this 6th inning entirely, and now Ramirez is grazed by the pitch. There's Hanley Ramirez right in the middle of it again with 2 out, nobody on. Again, common sense would tell you he's not trying to hit him, but maybe drive him off the plate, and that ran in and caught his jersey.
Yeah, I think the important thing is here, look at Molina's glove and watch how far it has to travel. Harold, you talked about missing in the zone. He's begun to miss location by a lot in this inning. Really the first time all game.
Yeah, I'm telling you, you got a great decision to throw Matt Kemp the breaking ball that got the double play, because Kemp was all over his fastballs. He's leaving that out over. And Hanley had a good swing at the first pitch he saw.
Well, now it's Ethier, who is 0 for 1 with a walk. One was a strikeout in the 5th inning, and back to first is a guy with 1 of 2 steals in this series so far. Hanley Ramirez. D. Gordon has the other. The Cardinals do not have a stolen base.
I think if you're the Dodgers right here, you got to sit Hanley on first base and let Ethier have a chance to drive a ball.
Andre's got 3 career postseason home runs. Miller is bothered by Hanley Ramirez, as is the Cardinal bench. Ramirez during the regular season stole 14. He's got 1 this postseason. Molina threw out 48% potential base stealers this season. Is going to go out and try and bring Shelby Miller back into the zone he was in through the first 5 innings.
And this is just, we got to navigate through, is really what they're doing right now. You can tell Yadi's first look over to the dugout. This is a slow it down. This is a manager saving the trip to the mound, basically, for the pitching coach.
Ever notice this game, Cardinal games, always played at the pace Molina wants it to be played. His trip to the mound, never in a hurry going out or coming back.
Making sure the bullpen's ready. He sees what we're seeing. This is it, the end of the road. Give me all you got, big boy. You need 1 more out. That's that conversation.
Here's a 1-0 outside. This point may be moot by now, beating a dead horse, but on that Colton Wong swing of the ball that bounced in, I mean, I get it fair or foul, but that's not really in that category to me. That's a ball that hit a batter while he's in the batter's box.
Yeah.
It's not a ball down the line on each side.
Yeah, it's not that gray of an area.
That one's debatable to me. Here's a 2-0 outside, and now Shelby Miller is losing it fast and may find himself out of this game here if he can't get Ethier.
Yeah, I gotta believe this is his last hitter. Either way, he comes back to get Ethier or loses him. Once again, throughout this sequence, missing the target by more than he had in the previous 5 innings.
On deck is Uribe. Ethier swinging. 3-1. Ethier was a good teammate this year.
There he was.
A guy that quietly went to the bench while the Dodgers figured out how their outfield was best configured. Opportunity here in Game 4 for Ethier. And he will walk for the second time in this game. And that's going to be it, it appears, for Shelby Miller. Maness is ready in the bullpen. And it went fast here in the 6th. But the Dodgers have only 1 run. Frustration by Shelby Miller. He'll leave with 2 on and 2 out. And Juan Uribe coming up. Nice hand for the 23-year-old Miller, who made his first career postseason start here today. Out. Beautiful day here in October in St. Louis. I'm Joe, that's Harold, that's Tom, and I think you have to come away very impressed with Shelby Miller in his first career postseason start.
Yeah, I thought his power stuff was extraordinary, but when it went in a hurry, and the Dodgers were able to scratch out a run.
Yeah, but I thought the double play ball that he was able to pick up, 1st and 3rd, no outs, to get that double play on Kemp, really sets up the game where we're at right now. But he pitched fantastic.
Yeah, he did. And, you know, you think about Mike Matheny had a choice. He could have forced Michael Wacha into the rotation, but he went with Shelby Miller. And I would say for the most part, they come out of this pleased with what Shelby Miller did. Now it's Juan Uribe against Seth Maness. The Dodgers up 1-0, 2 on, 2 out. Uribe only 1 hit in 15 at-bats. And that changes him into right center field. 1 run will score. Ethier is going to be held at 3rd and an RBI base hit by Juan Uribe. It's 2-0 Dodgers.
It's a big hit. I thought they were going to send Ethier all the way from first base on that. Because that ball split the gap and the nature that it split it, the defense was out of position on relay. So when this ball splits, you see Ethier not being held. He's coming hard. Once it gets past second baseman Wong, he's no longer the relay man. So Grichuk makes a nice, strong throw back in that hits the first baseman, or else this ball gets away. Watch the throw come in to see Adams cut it off. If this ball doesn't hit Adams, I think we see Ethier come all the way around because there's no relay man prior to that.
Now it's A.J. Ellis, the red-hot A.J. Ellis. He's been on base twice. He has a hit. He's 7 for 12. 1st and 3rd, 2 out.
Yeah, that's a dagger of a hit by Uribe. 2 outs. Maness, the sinker ball pitcher, left it up. Uribe took advantage.
Well, now you got Ellis up. You're already down 2-0. You're facing Kershaw, who's standing in the on-deck circle. The count goes to 1 ball, 1 strike. I know they'll come after Ellis to a point. Kershaw does have a hit in this game. What is now a 2-0 Dodger lead in the 6th. 2-1.
And I would say with 1st and 3rd situation, 2 outs here, with any other catcher, you might try to steal a run. But not with Yacht. You know, you might the 1st and 3rd, maybe stop, run a play, try to pick it up. I think that's going to happen here.
Maness behind on the count, 2-1. And 3-1 doesn't get away very far. Ethier is safe. And down to second is Uribe. And Carpenter immediately points to Matheny and says, challenge it. Boy, the third base umpire, Jerry Meals, had a good look at it.
Yeah, I want to see the right foot, see if that was able to sneak in or not. Right when he gets right here, it's going to be this stride right here. Is it there or is it not? Tough to tell.
Well, looks like he got him. What a great job by Molina to find that ball quickly.
I don't know, man.
Matt Carpenter seems so sure about it. A lot of times I'll go by the body language of the player. I know everybody tries to sell it, but the initial reaction from Carpenter, he almost didn't even bother to turn around and wait for a call.
Yeah, but remember, the call on the field is safe. So it's got to be indisputable to turn it over.
Yeah, I'm with you, Harold. I look like that right foot may have gotten in there at about the same time as that tag was up on the upper 5.
Yeah. It's a big play in the game. It looks like he's going to get him, but it extends past his arm to the other side of his body, and I think the leg is able to sneak in. We don't have the angle to see that, but that's what that looked like right there. I don't know. We'll see.
They're showing it on the board here.
A lot of umpires here.
Yeah, it goes back to New York, and they look at it. This play under review is presented by Samsung, and it is close. And as Harold said, the call on the field was safe, and Meals is right there looking at it.
Yeah, we don't have the angle from the other side. See, as he reaches here, he misses the arm, and it goes to the other side of the body. And I don't know if the leg sneaks in. That was my question, Tom.
Yeah, I think he probably tagged before he got the base, but I don't think the replay is conclusive enough to overturn the call.
Should have stuck with your hunch the first time.
Wow. Challenge was not kind to Mike Matheny during the course of the regular season. Cardinals get the challenge 2-0 after 5½. We had another angle that I'm sure they saw in New York that we didn't have initially. When Ethier was going back to the bag, and if we did not see clear evidence that Ethier was out, I think the angle on the replay will show you, might put Dodger fans' minds at ease, not thinking that they got ripped off out of a second and third situation. The one on the right, you see the glove go into the arm and midsection of Ethier, and the right foot of Ethier comes up initially a little short of the bag.
Absolutely.
That was a good review and a good call. Here's strike 2 on Cosma. Here's a big difference with these two clubs, guys, is what they bring off the bench. Pete Cosma is a career 173 hitter in the postseason.
Does have some good numbers against Clayton Kershaw. I know it's a small sample.
Hey, he started in L.A. against him. He played second base.
I thought he was out on that replay. That's the last time I let you guys talk me out of it.
Here's the 0-2 to Cosma. Meanwhile, Kershaw rolls. 1 out. Strikeout number 7.
Tell you what, the other thing lost on that play was Yadi Molina. See how quick he got to that ball? Mercy. He was seeded third. Here's the man of the hour. Here's a look at Molina. Watch how quick he gets this ball. And that's what threw everybody off. Normally that ball's going to the screen. And then you're coming up, and most catchers hesitate. He came up and gunned it to third. And that's what caught Andre Ethier off guard. Great play.
Now Matt Carpenter, who's homered in the first 3 games of this series, just the 3rd leadoff man in postseason history to homer in 3 straight games. Marco Gonzalez, the left-hander, the rookie, gets loose. Carpenter took Kershaw deep in game 1. Hank Bauer did it for the Yankees in 1958. Lonnie Smith for Atlanta in 91. Carpenter is also the 3rd left-handed batter to homer off 3 different left-handed pitchers in the same series. A short list with Rusty Staub and Josh Hamilton, who did it with Texas in 2010.
I think the adjustment that Clayton Kershaw has made today on Carpenter thus far is keeping it away. If you're going to beat me, you're going to, out of the ballpark, you're going to have to drive it to left field, take it out of here.
1-1. The other part of it is, Tom, he's over 50% breaking balls.
Yeah, and that, again, a departure from game number 1. The big train, a little too headstrong in that game 1, especially with runners on base. Today, from Jump Street, really has mixed his pitches very well.
Here comes a 2-1 to Carpenter. 2-2.
Getting on the outside half, and he was missing those balls in the 4th. But I think also a lot of this goes with A.J. Ellis, too. You know, we talked about the learning curve. That ball's a ball he might have left out over the plate. They're trying to get away, left that one out over.
Carpenter 0 for 2. Now full count.
I figured on the 2-1, if it's a fastball and Carpenter didn't swing, it had to be a ball.
He's notorious for having a great batting eye. As Don Mattingly said, not just in this series, but Carpenter is a guy who will make you work every time for the out. Even if you get him out. 3-2 pitch. Got him out. Strikeout number 8.
Clayton reached back for a grunt there.
You call it, Harold. Stayed away throughout the at-bat, especially now we get to the second half of the game. This is a guy they've had trouble keeping in the ballpark by making mistakes inside.
And the guy yelling there was Carpenter, not. That's Carpenter going, man, that's a ball he should have hit.
Carpenter 0 for 3. 8 strikeouts for Kershaw. Grichuk. He has the only Cardinal hit in the game. Ball 1 inside. Pitch number 89. Squeezed there in the count 2-0. Two out, nobody on. That's over the outside half. 2-1.
Again, same formula. You're going to take a ball and drive it. When you're heading the count, you're going to have to drive it the other way. A little old school baseball.
Made the start last year on short rest through 91 pitches, was taken out. Kershaw. There's pitch number 91 here. And it evens the count at 2 balls, 2 strikes. And I would be shocked if he gets Grichuk here. He doesn't go out and try and get at least through the 7th.
I would too.
Forget pitch count. 2 out, nobody on. That's foul.
Well, you almost want to see that John Lackey, I'm not coming out, this is my game attitude when your pitcher gets over to the dugout, or if you come out to visit him on the mound. You want to see that. He's pitching like a man on a mission.
The 2-2.
That time you heard Clayton. A little extra effort there. The grunt.
I don't know if I'm watching the U.S. Open tennis.
Trying to power it past Grichuk.
I think he may come back with a breaking ball here. That slider he's been throwing pretty effectively.
Pitch number 94 on 2-2. A strikeout ends the inning, and he struck out the side in the 6th. Clayton Kershaw is making a statement here in St. Louis in Game 4. He and the Dodgers facing elimination, trying to get it back to L.A. Lead it 2-0. Missed a base hit by Carl Crawford. A.J. Ellis, who was at the plate when Ethier was picked off third, leads it off here in the 7th inning of a 2-0 game with the Dodgers on top. It was a base hit by Crawford that started that 2-run rally last inning. It's his first hit of the game. So the rookie gets Ellis one away, and he starts the 7th. Marco Gonzalez has been impressive.
Kershaw off the mound. Any conversations? Not a chance. Nothing to be said. No reason to check on him.
Look at Donnie sitting right next to him. We can have a conversation. Clayton says, I'm up this inning. I'm not coming out. And I'm rolling. I'm going the distance today.
Here he is. He's 1 for 1 with a good sacrifice bunt and a base hit. 1. He's given his team everything he's got. To the right side, hustling down the line. Gonzalez wins that little race. 2 out.
You don't often have a pitcher that sets the trend on the team, but I think both these clubs are unique. Adam Wainwright is clearly the leader over here with the Cardinals, and I think Clayton Kershaw really sets a trend of how we're going to play every night. That the manager would look at and say, this is how I want you to prepare yourself right here.
How about the way he busted it down the line right there? That's a routine out. Deep into the game. He's not taking a breather.
That's part of setting the tone that you're talking about, Harold.
Absolutely. I mean,
oh, look at this.
A little effort. You hate it when the pitcher just jogs down to first. They do more running than anybody in baseball.
Yeah, you get 4 days off in between, too.
I've never understood it, though. I mean, you come to the ballpark early. We've all been around, and they all run for miles and miles and miles. They hit a ground ball, and they can't run to first. So what happened?
2 out, nobody on. The 0-1 to Gordon. Outside from Gonzalez. Ball and a strike. This kid not fazed by the big stage at all. Gonzalez appearing for the 3rd time. He got the win earlier in the series, so he's 1-0. Here's a bunt in the air. Molina won't get it. Gonzalez got the win in that come from behind effort against Kershaw in game 1.
Again, that was a bunt that was going towards the second baseman. D. Gordon tried to pull that with him instead of worrying about going third. That's why the ball ended up behind him. I always love that play. I think it's a foot race. Once you get it down between you, the pitcher, and that first baseman thinking that they can hit you. That's why you try that shot. There's a good look at Adam.
Brings up another point we'll get to here with 2 out, nobody on. The count evens 2-2, maybe in the bottom of the inning. If this series gets to Los Angeles, what will the pitching matchup be on Thursday? We know Greinke on regular rest for the Dodgers. Some uncertainty for the Cardinals. Ken Rosenthal is down by the dugout. Kenny, what are the Cardinals saying about a potential Game 5 starter?
Well, right now, Joe, they're saying that it's most likely Adam Wainwright. That was the phrase Mike Matheny used, most likely. John Mozeliak, the GM, said Wainwright will pitch unless something changes. Well, what can change? Wainwright's arm has been cranky for some time now, and in that Game 1 start, the Dodgers noticed that he threw fewer cutters as the game went on, and that he also lost command of that pitch. Now, Lance Lynn would be on normal rest for Game 5, so at the very least, Wainwright will be on a short leash.
Here's a 3-2. A walk to Gordon, and that invites trouble. 2 out.
Yes, I think it's a great point about Wainwright fighting that cranky arm. Really, last couple of months, threw 19 cutters in that game. That's below what he normally does. Features that pitch typically more than any other.
Gonzalez got a great pickoff move. He'll show you 3 different things. We saw the snap move from Clayton Kershaw earlier. He's got the snap move. He's got the lift and hesitate move. There's a snap. He does a nice job of holding runners, and if you haven't seen him before, like I'm anticipating D. Gordon has not, he's problematic to run on. And then you got Yachty back there, so you're looking at a tough confrontation right here. This is a money bag if he's able to steal it.
Just to finish the point about Wainwright, Steve Horn, our editorial consultant at Aaron Charlton of Stats Inc., look up the workload on Adam Wainwright since the 2011 season. He was unavailable coming back from Tommy John surgery. He has pitched 721 2/3 innings, the most across all of baseball since coming back. And so while he went through that dead arm phase in August, he had a great September. He was the pitcher of the month, but it didn't look like it after that layoff and the extra rest going into Game 1 last Friday night.
276 total innings last year, and they built in this season. They didn't have bullpen sessions off a mound in between starts this year throughout most of the season for that very reason.
Cut his finger. Oh, his nose is bleeding. Yeah, he's got a running nose.
The cut man from the corner to come out.
Nosebleed for the rookie Gonzalez. First round pick 2013. Here he is. And Crawford lines a base hit into right. Gordon had to hold for a moment, but he's going to go. Throw by Grichuk, cut off. 1st and 3rd, 2 out.
Wow. If people at home can see what we saw from this view, you talk about flying. D. Gordon stops on this bullet, lets it go by him, and then it was just like watching a guy run a 220. He said, okay, let me get the angle, and I am flying. And Grichuk can throw. This is a challenge that ended up being not even close. Watch D. Gordon's path right here. He right here has made up his mind. I'm going. I didn't need a coach. I'm daring you to throw me out. You know how fast I am? Mercy.
That was a thing of beauty. That's like when you race your buddy, you give him a head start. You have to stop, as you said, let the ball go by. Grichuk, as you said, I think he's got the best arm on the team. No problem.
Well, now spotting the nosebleed is the Cardinal dugout. So they're going to try and stop that. They'd like Gonzalez to continue, I would imagine, with Adrian Gonzalez, a left-handed batter, coming up. The Cardinals have a right-hander in their bullpen.
And they're sitting there going, hold on.
That's Carlos Martinez.
Stitch him up, Mick. Stitch him up.
Use the jab. Use the jab. Keep those hands up.
There you go. What's coming up later? It's going to be fun. Game 4 of that division series in San Francisco. The Nationals and the Giants.
Might be some bloodshed in that game too, man. This is a battle.
Nationals trying to get that series back east. I'll give you the starting pitchers. Gio Gonzalez and Ryan Vogelsong, with the Giants up 2-1. If there is a Game 5 in that series, it would be Thursday at 4 Eastern, followed by a potential Game 5 in this series should the Dodgers win today. So the NLDS coverage continues next and Thursday here on Fox Sports 1 and streaming live on Fox Sports Go. So with the left nostril plugged up, here's Adrian Gonzalez dealing with the rookie Marco Gonzalez. First and third, 2 out. Should end the inning. Down on a knee. Wong gets the out. And a scoreless frame put up by Marco Gonzalez. Nosebleed and all. Time to stretch. 2-0. Dodgers on top.
Take a look at this. Pitching lines look very much the same. The only 2 starts of his career on short rest. Last year, out after 91 pitches. This year, still in after 94. The difference, last year the Dodgers were up 2-1. Today, facing elimination. Go get him, Kershaw.
That was against Atlanta. This is against St. Louis, the team that knocked out the Dodgers in the NLCS last year. Nobody throwing for the Dodgers in their bullpen right now, but they're milling around out there, and as I say that, they're going to crank it up, and it's Baez. Up the middle. Diving try and a base hit for Holiday. Leadoff man is on. It was the 7th inning that was the undoing for Kershaw in Game 1. For good. Kershaw bounces it into Peralta. Ball 1.
Well, we've been talking about all day the adjustments and what would be interesting for him to fall back in the same place in the batting order is amazing as they headed here to the 7th inning and Holiday gets a hit. The difference already, slider first pitch Peralta. We didn't see that in LA the whole inning.
Peralta could tie it with 1 swing. Tried to. Almost took out his third base coach, Jose Oquendo. That ball was smoked.
Good swing. One of the better swings of the day. He's had a couple swings last at bat, but not getting the bat head out like he did right there.
The damage has been done by Mike Matheny's club from the 7th inning on. You just saw part of the numbers. Check on Holiday before pitch number 100.
What you thinking, Tom?
Thinking it's slightly surprising no left-handers up in the bullpen, but his left-handed specialist is on the mound right now.
It's off the glove of Ramirez. 2 on, nobody out. Inches away And the tying runs are aboard.
Can't go much higher, can you? Just off the end of the glove. Jumping with it.
What I meant by that, Baez is still the only one throwing. Adams at the plate now, Kershaw's man, followed by Molina, and then two more left-handed hitters.
Well, here's Matt Adams, who was part of that highlight package with a hit for an RBI off Kershaw in game 1. Runners, Holiday and Peralta. Nobody out. Still at 93 for strike 1.
Up in the zone, away. Little foul tip. He hit a bullet to shortstop, remember, to the left side early in the game to handle Ramirez for the double play.
Adrian Gonzalez got in behind the runner Peralta, and it took Chris Maloney, the first base coach, this crowd as loud as it is, to almost run to the bag and pull Peralta back to first.
It was a good get by him, too.
Now the 0-1 to Matt Adams. Driven into right! At the wall! It is gone! Cardinals lead it 3-2. Again, it's the 7th inning. Again, it's a left-handed batter. $15 home runs during the regular season. As his first of this postseason. Pedro Baez takes over. This game is a long way from over. We're in the 7th. Now the Cardinals lead by 1. That is foul for strike 1. Baez is a guy who took over for Kershaw in game 1, and he backs him up here in game 4.
Well, it was a heck of an at-bat by Adams. Really was. Got a hanging breaking ball, hammered it, didn't miss it.
Neshek getting loose for St. Louis. Frias for the Dodgers. Tied up Molina. That's strike 2.
Oh, I said their left-handed specialist on the mound, even after 100 pitches. Still, this team is a $240 million payroll. No confidence in left-handed pitching, even with the left-handed hitters behind Molina.
Popped up. Foul territory. Gonzalez one away.
Well, if you want to see when a pitcher is tiring, don't pay attention to the radar gun. Pay attention to the catcher's mitt. Watch the mitt of Ellis. Missed badly on that first pitch, and again here, wanted the breaking ball down, left it up. In both cases, it was the location not velocity, on a tiring Clayton Kershaw.
Adams had great at-bats, too. The double play, it won't show up in the box score as good at-bats because he hit the bullet to Hanley for the double play. But that's a heck of an at-bat reaction. He knew, and Adams knew he got it immediately.
Now Jay, 97 from Baez. Strike one.
But Joe, you said it. This game's, we still got a little ways to go.
Yeah, a long way from being over it. Clayton Kershaw through pitch number 102. That's a ball that Matt Adams got over the wall into the Cardinal bullpen for a one-run lead. Cardinals came into this seventh inning with only one hit. Kershaw had struck out 9, walked 2, but a single by Holiday up the middle, a line drive just off the glove of Hanley Ramirez into center field, and then Adams hit a hanger into right.
It's eerily similar to the game in LA. He had one hit going into the 7th in LA as well.
Here is an 0-2, and that hits John Jay. Another look at the home run.
Watch Big Country right here get some big air. You're not going to see it right there. That's big air for him.
The other side of it with D. Gordon.
Well, he's thinking about the ball he dove on that went off the glove. Hanley Ramirez thinking about the line drive that went off his glove. Game of inches.
Now Colton Wong, 1 on, 1 out. It's up to Baez to hold it right here for the Dodgers. Strike one. 98 from Baez, who was taken deep by Matt Holiday for a 3-run shot in game 1.
I felt like coming into this game, because Kershaw was on low fuel, I felt like the Dodgers were going to have to score about 5 runs to win this.
They've scored 2. They trail by 1. Wong out in front of it, strike 2.
Because the Cardinal offense, Tom, is clicking on full cylinders.
The story of this series is the Cardinal offense, especially the left-handed hitters against left-handed pitching of the Dodgers. Los Angeles just not enough answers on the left-handed hitters.
Albert has given one up. Howell, Kershaw, couple. None bigger than this one in game 4. But look at what the Cardinals have done from the 7th inning on. Specifically in the 7th, they're 14 for 23 with 13 runs of the 18 that they've scored in the entire series.
Amazing. And they started that all with the middle of the order, not at the top, not at the bottom, in the middle.
Wong drove home 2 in the 7th last night with a home run. He hit off Scott Elbert. Last night, the 3-1 final, the largest margin of victory for either team in this series. It's another 1-run game. A check on John Jay, who was hit by Baez after the foul out by Molina.
They're just trying to get through this half inning and keep it close.
Tavares is in the on-deck circle. He'll hit for Marco Gonzalez. Pitched an inning and got a win in game 1. Big swings by Colton Wong.
I just love the approach these guys have had at the plate. I mean, they're covering balls. When they're fouling it back, it's great swings. Beautiful full moon here in St. Louis.
Long ready for another. Count still 0-2 with Baez. Ball one. Dodgers in the 8th inning against Nishek. We'll have Kemp, Ramirez, and Ethier. Still have Turner, Puig, and Van Slyke on their bench. Jay with a decent-sized lead. Ball two.
Well, I think it's interesting that playoff baseball clearly comes down to the bullpens. And the Dodgers bench depth, you'd lean that way, but you clearly lean towards the Cardinal bullpen. Big difference.
Dodgers spent $20 million on Ryan Wilson, Chris Perez, Brandon League. None of them have gotten up in this game. Perez not even on the roster.
Strikeout for out number 2.
Heck of a changeup, good pitch. Going 98, and you drop a changeup at 88. There's a good look at it. Colton Wong looking for that. Oh, that's a home run the other night he hit.
I think it's so impressive about Wong. Not the biggest Cardinal, but Mike Matheny telling us the best bat speed on the team. Such bat speed, this bat actually hits himself in the back on the follow-through.
That was the 7th inning last night. The 7th inning tonight, a strikeout. It presents Oscar Taveras with a 1-on 2-out chance after Matt Adams just had the thrill of his life.
I really like this guy's swing. We've been working on a lot of things with him, but he's always hitting the minors. He just hasn't put it together yet here.
High pop-up left side may stay in play for Uribe. It will, and the inning is over. Nice job by Baez. With the damage done, Clayton Kershaw gave it all he had. Pitch number 102. Home run number 1 for Matt Adams in this series. Lefty on lefty. The 7th inning again into the 8th. Game 4. Now it's the Cardinals on top. 3-2. Another great game. 8th inning rolls in. In game number 4, the Dodgers will bat. They've got 6 outs left. They have to do it against the Cardinal bullpen to try to get this series back to Los Angeles. But the right guys coming up here in the 8th. It's Nishek out of the bullpen with Kemp, Ramirez, and Ethier. The 3 hitters to start it here in the 8th. Strike 1 to Kemp.
Last time Kemp saw Nishek, won the game in LA.
Towering home run down the left field line. The bottom of the 8th inning of game 2. Strike 2. Kemp had first and third, nobody out in the 6th inning. The inning the Dodgers got 2 runs to cross the plate. Kemp bounced into a double play. 1 away on 3 pitches.
Great adjustment by Nishek. Everything away. Watch this ball right here. Slider running away. Remember, he challenged him inside in LA. He got beat with the home run on the inside half. Then he went away, 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 and ends up with the result of the K.
Carlos Martinez is now joined by Trevor Rosenthal, the Cardinal closer, out in the bullpen for St. Louis. A strength for the Cardinals, a glaring weakness for the Dodgers in this series. Hanley Ramirez hit 13 home runs during the regular season. Ball 1 outside. 0 for 2 tonight, hit by a pitch and scored a run back in that 2-run 6th. Strike. Kershaw pitching on short rest, getting the ball tonight against the Cardinals in 18 starts in his career coming in. 5-8 with an ERA over 4 against the rest of baseball. Kershaw 94 and 45 with an ERA under 2.5.
Well, especially in the postseason, the Cardinals definitely have his number.
Trying to advance for the 4th time. Broken back. 2 out. Let's go to Kevin Burkhardt in the studio for a game break. Kevin, thanks. Here's Ethier. You mentioned it, Tom, during the break. How big was Ethier getting picked off at third base, wandering too far to end that 2-run 6th inning? How big does that look now?
Huge play in the game, and give Yadi Molina all the credit in the world to find the baseball so quickly. Didn't hesitate, didn't check the runner at first, went to third base immediately, surprising Ethier. Huge play.
Ethier takes a strike. Andre's been very patient tonight in his first start in this series. 2 walks. He's got 3 career postseason home runs. Set up at 0-2.
He's up against it tonight. This is the best I've seen Neshek all season for me personally.
That 93 gets on you in a hurry with that quick delivery to the plate.
The back continues. Now it's just Rosenthal getting loose. Follow the postseason with MLB.com. That the #1 app for live baseball. Stay connected with highlights, replay reviews, scores, live radio broadcasts, and more. Get the app for your smartphone or tablet. That barely missed. And the count 1-2 with 2 out, nobody on.
Well, that was nasty. A little change up. Looked like he was like threw it and pulled his hand back to like he was reeling in a fish. That's crazy.
Here's a 1-2. Waited on it. Soft ground ball. Long to the right, inning over. Bottom of the 8th inning rolls in. Cardinals will bat. Hello, Pat Neshek, leading by 1. Grichuk and Holiday against a hard-throwing right-hander, Pedro Baez. Carpenter hitless tonight, while 1 outside. Struck out twice. That was against Kershaw. This Cardinal team, and Carpenter's been a part of it with 3 home runs in this series. The team that hit the fewest home runs in the National League this year. They scored their last 11 runs in this series via the home run ball. Starting in game 1 with that 3-run shot hit by Matt Holiday. That 8-run 7th inning against the man on the mound right now, Pedro Baez.
You just talk about running to a buzzsaw. These guys are hot, they're swinging it, they got great approaches, and they're getting good pitches to hit. It's a good team. I think the Cardinals have been overlooked all year. And the home run element takes them to another level of danger.
That's what they didn't have all year, not just statistically, but they had a tough time sustaining an attack, having it in short spurts. It was such a change from the previous 2 years. People thought this was the weakest version of the last 3 Cardinal teams.
Well, the home runs are just shocking to me, especially off of Kershaw. I'll go back to the home run in the beginning of the series. Randall Grichuk on a curveball. The bookend home run right here, Matt Adams on a curveball. Over the course of the season, Kershaw threw almost 1,200 breaking balls and gave up 4 home runs. 2 in this series.
The other side of it is what the Cardinal pitching has done, both out of the rotation. There's the starter tonight, Shelby Miller, but the job done by that bridge area of the bullpen to get it into the closer's hands. They've been fantastic. Neshek with a terrific inning again here tonight.
They've really used the Dodgers' aggressiveness against them. They've done a great job of that.
A 2-2 to Carpenter, leading it off in the 8th. Good rip.
Takes the deep breaths to relax himself, but his level of concentration is impeccable. He already has tough at-bats, but then you put him on a stage like this where that becomes even more crystallized, and you get the results he's been coming up with.
The 2-2. Spoiled it. The Dodgers in the 9th inning will have the bottom 3 in their lineup. Uribe, A.J. Ellis. Ellis has been the hottest hitter in this Dodger lineup. Remember that good bench with Puig on the bench, Scott Van Slyke, Justin Turner, who hit .340 from Don Mattingly this season. Center, Ethier to his left. One away, and Carpenter hitless for the first time in this series. The 1 brought to you by Fox Sports Live. Stay tuned right after the game. We'll get all the latest highlights and news from the world of sports. 3-run shot by Matt Adams. Clayton Kershaw. The first runs of the night. Give the Cardinals their first lead of the night as they lead this series 2-1. Here's Pritchett. Strike 1. Pritchett had the only Cardinal hit through the first 6 innings against Kershaw. Singles by Holiday, Peralta, home run Adams. Strike 2, Baez. Probably making the Dodgers and Don Mattingly wonder if, despite the home run in Game 1, maybe he was worth another look. Going well so far tonight.
Yeah, you can see why they love his stuff. Big power arm. They compared him to Carlos Martinez as a potential difference maker. They put him on the roster. A guy who threw only 24 major league innings, had pitched only 3 times in games that were tied, or the 1-run difference. They threw him right into the fire in Game 1. It's much more settled here in Game 4.
Here is a 1-2 pitch. Pritchett strikes out, 2 down.
He's reaching back, bringing it. It's got to be a little frustrated too if you're Don and you see this kind of performance.
And we've seen the end of this performance, evidently, as Don Mattingly is coming out. The right-handed hitting Matt Holiday coming up. It will be Brandon Lee into the ball game with 2 out, nobody on in the bottom of the 8th inning here in Game 4. Giants, Nationals trying to get decisive Game 5 back east. It will be Thursday at 4 Eastern. Coverage of the NLDS continues next, if need be, on Thursday here on Fox Sports 1 and streaming live on Fox Sports Go. That matchup coming up, Gio Gonzalez against Ryan Vogelsong. 2 out, nobody on, and Baez is out with Holiday, who took it deep. Game 1 coming up, so it's Brandon Lee. First pitch swinging, Uribe, nice play. That ends the inning. And Juan Uribe is set to lead it off in the 9th inning. 3 outs to go. Dodgers, 3 outs left. Facing elimination to the 9th inning we go here in Game 4. Three changes for St. Louis. John Jay goes from center to left. Peter Borges into the game in center. Holiday is out. Trevor Rosenthal takes over on the mound. Strike one on Uribe. He was going to try and jump on the first pitch and tie this game.
He came out of his shoes, didn't he? He's ready.
Difficult matchup, though. Uribe 0 for 4, 3 punch-outs against Rosenthal. He would chase the high here.
Last night in Game 3, Trevor Rosenthal was on the mound having trouble with his footing and his control. Carlos Martinez was up and getting loose behind him in the bullpen. That is inside. Ball 2, 2-1. He has been at times electrifying Rosenthal, but also frustrating for Mike Matheny with his control. This one back to Trevor. The underhand toss, one away.
Again, he ran that ball in on his hands that way. That one there going away. So you get those guys looking inside. Now all of a sudden you go back out. It's tough to handle the whole plate. You gotta try to see one side or the other. Nice job pitching right there.
Now it's A.J. Ellis, who has a home run in this series. 7 for 13 at the plate. Ball 1. 98. On deck is Turner. That's ball 2, 2-0.
Quality at bats for A.J. Ellis throughout this series. This one no different, making sure that Rosenthal gets something in the strike zone. The guy who's not going to get big with his swing.
Here's a 2-0. Hit the knees. 2-1, and A.J. Ellis talks to the home plate umpire, Eric Cooper. He thought it was low.
The ball just held its plane right above the knee. The four-seam fastball.
Now a 2-1. 3-1 at 100. With one out. And again, Carlos Martinez is up for the Cardinals in their bullpen.
Well, the Dodgers have had a lot of trouble being disciplined against the fastball, but not A.J. Ellis. And now Justin Turner just as tough and out.
And Yasiel Puig is going to be used as a pinch runner for A.J. Ellis.
Well, it's a good move. It'll be interesting to see if he's going to be on the move. With Rosenthal with such a deliberate delivery.
And the guy at the plate is Justin Turner. What a year he had. Hit 340. So good off the bench. Started all over the infield. Tying run at first. Ball 1 down and in, and Molina's going to go out and slow it down again.
He does this as good as anybody in baseball. And I know a lot of people get caught up in worrying about the catcher going out too many times. Sometimes you got to pick those spots. Look at him saying, let's go, man. That wasn't kid gloves.
No, I mean, the message to me is trust your stuff. You throw 100, trust it over the plate.
Tying run at first. The super sub. Justin Turner at the plate. Not close. And just the body language of Molina just dripping with frustration as Rosenthal walked A.J. Ellis and now has gone 2-0 on Justin Turner.
Never a good sign. Corseman at bat, as many visits to the mound as pitches. First Molina, Derek Lilliquist.
That's a good point. 2 pitches, 2 visits.
How good was Turner? And 288 at-bats during the regular season. As I mentioned, hit 340. And off the bench was 12 out of 30. California kid. Waiting for a 2-0. Is he taking? He is. That's a strike, and he didn't like it.
Well, he's keying in, looking for something inside the drive, and comes back outside. He just paints one on the black. He already called the low strike before, so he stayed consistent with it.
And now Turner still talking to the home plate umpire, Eric Cooper, after the Dodgers feel they got a raw deal at the plate last night with the crew chief Dale Scott. 2-1. Bought off, right side. Adams is out of room. 2-2.
Went a long way to get there. The big man was drifting.
Realized the pinch runner, Yasiel Puig, no runner in baseball made more outs on the bases, not including caught stealing, this year than Yasiel Puig. The 2-2, full count. The ones out of the strike zone have been so far out of the strike zone, they're not even tempting to Turner.
Do you run him here? That's the question. Automatically, you got to trust that if it's a strike, Turner's going to put it in play.
Well, as you said, you can get a jump on Rosenthal. 2 stolen bases and 2 tries this year.
He stays put. A strikeout for out number 2.
Forcing fastball, almost looked like he was looking for the ball up. Doesn't come close to that one down.
And now the Dodgers are down to their final out. And the Cardinals are 1 out away from their 4th straight NLCS. It's D. Gordon. That is down the left side. It's going to be fielded by Jay. And it's 2 on with 2 out as D. Gordon jumped on the first pitch from Trevor Rosenthal, and it's going to be in the lap of Carl Crawford.
Wow, it's a great piece of hitting. Took the ball, sliced it. I was a little surprised he was swinging first pitch that quick. Jumped it.
Crawford 1 for 4 in his career against Rosenthal. The key for Crawford against any pitcher in this series has been to stay off the fastball above his hands.
He's 2 out of 4 in this game. Singles in his last 2 at-bats. And here we go. Tying run at second. Go-ahead run at first. And a ground ball to second. Wong flips. Game over. Series over. Cardinals win it. 3 games to 1. Most in the history of the National League. 13th overall and 4th straight. And 3 in a row for manager Mike Matheny in his first 3 years. The Cardinals look dead or close to it in both games against baseball's best pitcher. Came back and won game 1. Came back and won game 4. Final 3-2 tonight. The bullpen good enough. And the Cardinals advance. Fox Sports Live, special edition. Jay and Dan, take it away. Well, guys, thank you very much. This was some game. This was some series. And as Mike Matheny talks it over with Adam Wainwright, Mike Matheny in his first 3 years as a big league manager is guiding his team into his third straight National League Championship Series. They ambushed Clayton Kershaw in the 7th inning of Game 1, and they ambushed Clayton Kershaw on short rest in the 7th inning here in Game 4 tonight.
Well, they had some big at-bats, clearly, in both those games we're talking about. But the big thing to me watching tonight, as they were able to continue to stay within Cardinal baseball, being able to catch routine ground balls like this that ends the game, but everything they did fundamentally, they didn't make mistakes. Not an error committed in this whole series. Incredible.
Give Cardinals all the credit in the world for being so opportunistic, especially their left-handed hitters against the left-handed pitching of the Dodgers. I gotta tell you, my takeaway is stunned at the way they really tagged Clayton Kershaw. Now the question about his postseason numbers will linger on.
Well, the postseason numbers are these. Clayton Kershaw now is 1-5 in his career in October baseball, playoff baseball, an ERA of 5.12. And the Cardinals have beaten him 4 times. Twice in the NLCS last year, and twice as Bill DeWitt, Kathy DeWitt celebrate ownership of the Cardinals. Cardinals beat Kershaw twice in this divisional series. Wong ended it with a flip. And the Cardinals are on to the NLCS. Let's go down to Ken Rosenthal.
Thanks, Joe. Matt, 7th inning, 1st and 2nd, none out. You swung through a first pitch fastball. Tell me what happened after that.
I had to lock back in. You know, I was a dominant pitcher, and he's coming after you with his best stuff. So I had to, you know, it was probably a ball, the first pitch, and I chased it. So I took a step out and just took a deep breath and told myself to get it back in the strike zone.
You knew right away, didn't you?
Well, at first I thought it was going, and then I saw it kind of even out on the line drive, and I saw Matt going back hard on it, and I had to start running, but I had a pretty good idea that it was going.
Your nickname is Big City. You were literally jumping for joy as you rounded first base. So, shall we call that the Big City dance?
Yeah, I mean, we should probably patent that, but I was just, you know, Shelby battled his butt off today. He made some good pitches when he needed to, and our relievers did a great job, and just wanted to do it for the team.
Matt, you came into this series knowing you might have to face Kershaw twice and Greinke twice. What does it say about this team that you knocked out the Dodgers and beat Kershaw twice in 4 games?
We never give up. You know, no matter how many runs we're down or what the series lead is, you know, we're always going to come out and play hard and go after it.
Matt, congratulations. Thank you. Joe, back to you.
All right, thank you. Congratulations to Matt Adams. More disappointment for the Dodgers as they had last year when that series came to a close in the NLCS here in St. Louis. The Dodgers are tired of looking out of that dugout and watching the Cardinals celebrate, and they will now celebrate inside their clubhouse. Matheny tips his cap to the Dodgers. Meanwhile, Marco Gonzalez, the rookie left-hander, gets the win for the 2nd time in the series. The last rookie reliever with 2 wins in a postseason series was Francisco Rodriguez. Back in the postseason for his team, the 2002 world champion Angels.
Dodgers just couldn't keep the Cardinals in the ballpark. This is the Cardinals team with the fewest home runs in the National League. And every big turn in this series seemed to be of a home run swing on a Cardinal bat.
You know, I love the way the Cardinals played. I mean, they slowed the game down. Big moments when they had pressure situations. Young pitchers, Yachty comes out, calms it down. I look at last night with Rosenthal. I look tonight what he did with Trevor Miller, guiding those guys through. Matt Carpenter, breakout series, breakout star. But I think the big thing that I'm going to take away from this is they didn't make mistakes, whether it was defensively or on the base pass, or a lot of them, even as pitchers were executing pitches. They played flawless. They played tremendous.
So we take it from the booth back down to the field and Ken Rosenthal.
Thanks, Joe. Here with Trevor Rosenthal. Trevor, 1-run lead in the 9th, trying to close out the division series. How difficult was it to stay calm?
You know, I just excited. You know, fun to go out there and play this game, obviously, and then you know, to see how things transpired in the 7th there, and he got those runs. And Nish went out there and did what he did all year and shut him down. And I just wanted to kind of fall in line and hopefully do my part, and so we can walk away with the win.
Yadi came out a couple times. What did he say to you during that inning? It was not an easy inning for you.
No, we're just trying to, make sure we find a way to get the job done, whatever it took. Just trying to dig down deep there, and know we're facing some good hitters, and not trying to be too fine, and let the defense work.
That feeling at the end when you're on the mound and it's time to celebrate. How do you describe that? What is it like?
I mean, words can't really describe it. especially being here at home in front of our fans. It's a pretty cool atmosphere, and there's not much I can compare it to. It's hard to put into words.
Trevor, thanks a lot. Joe, back to you.
Yeah, Kenny, I don't know if you can appreciate the job done by Mike Matheny. I mean, he takes over for a Hall of Fame manager in Tony La Russa, who was coming off a World Championship. And now Mike Matheny, who's made a lot of good decisions during the course of this year. One of them tonight with Shelby Miller getting the start. They leave Wacha for another day. We may not even see Michael Wacha this postseason because he had the injury this year. Matheny has guided this team into the NLCS, the heels of what La Russa did 3 straight years. That's impressive.
It's been seamless, really. And we talk about the Cardinal way. I think people have twisted that to mean something it really isn't. Cardinal way to me is playing the game the right way and doing the little things. I mentioned the big home runs. Yes, one huge play in the game was Yadier Molina getting the 3rd out at 3rd base in the 6th inning, getting Andre Ethier wandering off the base, called safe originally, overturned on replay. Just the cat-quick reflexes by Molina. Those are the plays that made a big difference in the series.
How about a big difference that Matt Carpenter made? Let's go back down to Kenny.
Thanks, Joe. Matt, again the 7th inning, again against Kershaw. What was the feeling on the bench like going into that inning knowing that his pitch count was rising?
I mean, certainly we were aware of that, and I got to tip my cap to Clayton. I mean, 3 days rest, the stuff that he had today was nothing short of incredible, really. I mean, we had 1 hit going into that inning, and he was as good as I've ever seen him. And we were aware of the pitch count. We were trying to work him, get him up. We knew that at some point, your fatigue's going to hit in, and we were able to get those couple singles. He left the 1 pitch up to Matt, and he hit it out of the park. I mean, you gotta give credit to our guys. They kept fighting, they kept pushing, and even though we were down, we never quit, and we were able to get to them.
Matt, your left-handed hitters in this series were so successful against left-handed pitching. What was the difference there?
We've had a good approach all year, and at times our offense hasn't been where we would hoped it would be, but right now we're feeling as good as we've ever as we have all season. And you got to give credit to this team. I mean, we keep fighting, we keep pushing, we get a game plan together, and we stick to it. We stick to it through the whole game, the whole 9 innings, and it's been paying off for us.
All right, which home run celebration did you prefer? Colton Wong's last night or Matt Adams tonight?
They were both pretty big, but I don't think it gets any bigger than what Matt was able to do right there. That was huge.
Matt, congratulations. Thanks. Joe, back to you.
Kenny, thanks. The Dodgers won the West by 6 games over the Giants. The Giants are about to get underway against the Nationals. Meanwhile, the Cardinals, they know how to celebrate around here. They've been doing a lot of that in October for a lot of years. We have much more to come from St. Louis. But for now, we send it back to the studio. Special edition, Fox Sports Live. Here's Jay and Dan.